Something we all have in common is we've all missed out in life. Some of us have more regrets than others, especially if you're younger. You have your whole life ahead of you. And I love that about working in youth ministry all those years, just seeing the potential every single one of those teenagers have. They have potential not just to have their whole life in front of them, but also the potential to not make the mistakes and the regrets their parents made. And if you're a parent, you know that feeling all too well. But for some of us, we're a bit older and we've made mistakes. We've got regrets in life. And yes, even if you're a Jesus follower, some of those regrets often follow us. And even if you've become a Jesus follower and you're walking in this life, even after that you've made that decision, there's maybe some regrets that have even come after that decision. And life has happened and you're wondering, I'm supposed to be living this life, this new life, but why do I still have regret? Why am I still missing out? Which is why we're starting this series. Now, I'll get to the name of the series in just a while because I can bet you there's some confusion and you're wondering, what is this guy on about? But let's just get back to the missing out, because there's some stuff we miss out on that is inconsequential. It's that stock tip, that crypto bet or something that you could have made, or maybe it's that girl that you could have asked out and you didn't. And but maybe you'll get a second chance. Maybe there'll be a chance again. Maybe you missed out on one of your kids' games, or maybe you had a chance to go and see the Springboks play and you missed it, and it was one of the greatest games you've seen on TV, and you could have been there, and you say, oh well, maybe next time. But then there are those misses out that are not so inconsequential. In fact, they're quite consequential. It's those misses where you say, and you see those misses a lot in other people, where you say, oh, all they had to do was this, but they didn't. It's those misses where if only they had prioritized their marriage or their family, only they had accepted responsibility for their actions, if only they had gone to class, if only they had taken better care of themselves. All of these things are misses that we often can't come back from. It's stuff that we can't get back. It can cause us to not just miss out on something, but in a lot of cases, it causes us to miss out in a season of life we can never get back. And my heart for this series, my heart is that you can go into life. Firstly, not fear the misses. That's what FOMO stands for, the fear of missing out. Do not live a life of fear and not make decisions based on, I don't want to miss out. But we'll get to the second part, nephmo. No excuse for missing out. Because here's the truth is, I don't want you to miss out. You don't want you to miss out. You don't want you to have regrets. But what do we do with those big regrets, those big misses out? We say to ourselves, I'll never do that again. And yet, that doesn't future-proof us from not doing it again. In fact, your human nature is far more sneaky than you realize. If our human nature becomes our governing principle, becomes the way we will live our life, or we give into what our human nature wants, which is ultimately self-serving, not God-serving. If we lean into our human nature, we tend to learn from our mistakes in the areas that matter least. Isn't that true? The small stuff, we know we're not going to do that again. Whether it's hobbies or cooking or assembling furniture. And I know there's some of you that, you've tried to tile your own bathroom and it was a disaster and you'll never do that again. Next time we get someone in to tile the bathroom. It's those things that are inconsequential and we learn from them and we say never again. And we learn from those mistakes. But when we're in our human nature, we repeat our mistakes in the areas that matter most. And that's why, even if you're a Christian, even if you are following Jesus, you still have the potential to miss out on the most important things. Why? Because we all have free will, we all have free choice, we all have the choice to still listen to the human nature, the self-serving part. And so, that opens us up to repeat the mistakes in what matters most. When it comes to our finances, our dating, our marriage, our parenting, and our relationships, ultimately. And one of your most important relationships, your relationship with God Himself. The misses out in those areas cause us to not take ownership. Our human nature causes us to make excuses. In the areas that matter most, our tendency is to make the most excuses. Which brings me to Nephmo. No excuses for missing out. When we start living from that place, it's a mindset, it is a way of life. It is when I walk with Christ, I own up, I fess up. It means that yes, Christ has made me, Jesus has made me free from the guilt of my regrets of the past. I'm free from that, but I am not making the same mistakes. I'm walking with, because I know that I'm not future-proof when it comes to that. It means I need to press in more. I need to focus on what is most important. And I believe there are 3 reasons why we miss out on the big things in life. The 3 things are broken up in triple D, I call them. The first one is we are deceived. Let me rephrase that. We allow ourselves to be deceived. Yes, people can deceive us, but ultimately, if you're honest with yourself, you allow yourself to be deceived. Why is that? Because Jeremiah, the prophet, was spot on. In Jeremiah 17, verse 9, he says, "The heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it?" The implication is that nobody can understand it. The implication is that your human nature is deceitful. The potential for doing the wrong thing is always there. But we shouldn't fear it. We should stand, own up, and follow and focus on who is leading us. You can know whether you are deceived by asking maybe this simple question. Is what I want to do what I ought to do? And is it good for me? Is what I want to do what I ought to do? And is it good for me? Why is this so important? Because you never have to sell yourself on a good idea. You never have to sell yourself on the right thing. You always have to sell yourself on the better things. Think about it. On the regrets that you've had, you sold yourself. Your salesman in your head is much cleverer than you think. And so you can, with boldness, say, as Paul said in Galatians 6 verse 7, do not be deceived. I will not be deceived. And believe that. Speak it and do it and follow it. The second D, why we miss out in life, is we get distracted. You see, we get distracted by the peripheral. We get distracted by the urgent, by the important. But we want to commit ourselves to what the ultimate is. We want to commit ourselves to what is most important. What is the ultimate? What is the picture of your life? What do you vision? What is God's vision, purpose for your life? And everything else is measured towards that. But we allow ourselves to get distracted. We allow things and people and all of social media, all of these things to get airtime in our lives. And what ultimately happens is we get distracted. We start doing things and listening to people we shouldn't be listening to, and doing things we shouldn't be doing, not because we don't know what's right, but because we're distracted. That's the reason a lot of people and a lot of Christians are so depressed and so anxious. Why? Because they allow themselves to be distracted. They allow the world to take their eyes off the footsteps of Jesus and follow the human nature. So don't miss it. Don't miss out because you are distracted. And here's the last one, and one of the bigger ones of the D's, and that is disobedience. And I'm talking about disobedience to God. Now, when you're a Jesus follower, your proclamation, I hope, is that Jesus is your King. He is the one you are following. And so, obedience to Him is the real test, is the real proof of how serious you are about what you believe. And disobedience is simply put in a 3-letter word, and that's called sin. We don't often like to call it sin. We don't often like to talk about sin. Sometimes we package it in the way of a mistake. But then you would be called a mistaker, not a sinner. You see, sin is always aware of what it is. And you are always aware that sin is wrong. And the problem with sin is it packages itself as having what's best for you. But ultimately, the reason why God hates sin is because He's for you and He wants what's best for you. And sin is not it. In fact, sin is the opposite to it. Sin causes you to be separated from what is most important. It separates you from the most important relationship in your life, which affects all other relationships in your life. Sin has the potential to put your best life out of reach. Adrian Rogers has this quote. He says, sin will take you farther than you want to go, keep you longer than you want to stay, and cost you more than you want to pay. On the front side, sin won't look like it costs you anything, but sin ultimately costs you and can cost you everything. And my heart for you is not to live in that regret. In group now, we're going to, as you guys are going to go through, talking through this, and hopefully you guys are going to be reading John 8. And John 8 tells the story of Mary and the woman who was caught in adultery. And she was caught, taken outside the city gates. And you know the story. She was about to be stoned. Jesus came and told, who's without sin, throw the first stone. Everyone dropped the stones and walked away. And it was left with just Jesus and Mary, and Jesus would pick her up and He would say, I do not condemn you. Jesus would say to you, as I do not condemn you. You are free from the guilt of your regrets. But then, because Jesus is all grace and all truth, doesn't just leave it there. He addresses the future. He addresses the potential from that moment forward. And He says to Mary, now go and leave your sin. And He tells you, I know you have excuses. I know you can justify your sin. You can justify your disobedience. But what ultimately is most important to you? And if following Jesus, if living a life free from regret, a life where you do not miss out, if that is important to you, then you will not make excuses. In fact, you will own up. You will fess up and take the forgiveness that is extended to you. But walk in step with Jesus. Walk in obedience so that you don't miss out. Over the next 3 weeks, as we're going to journey together, we're going to look at the 3 most important things I believe you can't afford to miss out on in life. The 3 things that if you're focused on these, you will live without regret in life. It doesn't mean bad things won't happen. Doesn't mean there won't be mistakes. But regrets, there will not be. So don't miss next time. But as for now, I want to assure you, you have so much to look forward to. Doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter how much is past you and behind you and regret there's been. I want to tell you that you have so much to look forward to. As you go to group and as we continue the discussion, I want you, if it's on your heart, to be open and honest. I want you to share with the group, if it's on your heart, what is a regret that you have or had? And what was the excuses you made to justify that missing out, that regret? Enjoy your discussion in group or wherever you're tuning in from. And then I'll see you for part 2, where we're going to look at the first thing I believe you can't afford and have no excuses for missing out on.